So most of these places, these colleges which teach specialized skills, they're known because of their faculty. They're supposed to have very, very good people who've got experience and all that. So I'm not sure how a missionary college, which generally doesn't encourage even this kind of drama and all that, they're hardcore studying people. How did that happen that they had a faculty?
Actually, we had like some really cool faculty. I mean,
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, clearly, I mean, somewhere out there, kind of.
Loyola College by itself has always encouraged the Loyola Debating Society, the cultural part of it.
Yeah,
and we also had Loyola Theatre Society.
Yeah, that was probably the best known.
Loyola Theatre Society used to stage these plays in Madras and all that.
Yes, it was quite an event in Madras city those days.
But anyway, our department had nothing to do with that. But there were a couple of professors, 3 professors.
Our
when
HOD
we were there.
especially, Father Rajnayakam at that point of time.
Okay, what was his background? Shooting
He's,
in churches?
He's part of the Jesuit system, and he has studied communication theory, things like that inside the system. So he actually came in with this huge knowledge of how communication as such works.
Okay, the principles behind it,
Right.
rather than
Like,
actual shooting.
Like McLuhan's theory on like how you communicate, and like, I mean, whole bunch of things. When we were learning, it all seemed a little like, why do we need to know this? We are creative people and all that. But later on in life, you know that like those things actually make communication has to be simple. Like if I'm trying to tell you something, I am responsible to make sure that you get
understand it. Yeah.
So I can't just say blah 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 and say like my communication was right, you just didn't get it.
Okay.
Which means the
So you have to get down to his level, whatever that level,
right.
do it correctly.
So this is one of the things where like you take it as common sense, but it has become common sense because somebody has actually studied this, written a theory about this. So these
you had a good set of books for all these things?
When we studied, it was like pretty basic because
and this freeing
everything
up
cycle
of,
styles those days, or what is
yeah,
it?
actually,
Yeah,
lot
more or
of
less.
that.
Lot of was that.
And this freeing up of my, like even now there are a lot of these colleges where guys and girls shouldn't speak, and you have a lot of those reservations.
Oh yeah.
In that way, Loyola was really cool. As in, especially our department was pretty chill.
I think.
I mean, they didn't
that's
have
the
any.
most important
so, like I mean, kids come in from all sorts of backgrounds. So, but.
They get to
they kind
meet
of,
each other and exchange a lot of ideas freely.
Yeah. And they kind of develop some perspective. I mean, some sort of individual thinking.
Okay, so how does that compare? Straight question. How does that compare with what you saw later on when you went to the United States?
Actually, film school is a completely different trip because there it is very geared towards that one particular profession, right, of filmmaking.
Cinema.
Of cinema.
And it's graduate school also.
And so everybody who's coming there is like hardcore interested in movies.
And already done something in their lives.
They would have worked on a bunch of short films. All of them come in with portfolios.
Did you guys do before you started your first feature film?
Yeah, we need a portfolio. So we did 2 short films.
Okay.
And we worked in advertising before that. Like right after college, before going to film school, we worked for a couple of years in ad filmmaking.
Okay.
By that time, we had also started making ad films on our own.
You were on a firm or just your own?
No, with a production house.
Oh.
We were working as
not one of the regular advertising companies.
Not
production house.
O&M, this, that, and the other. No.
A
You were a production house.
Production house.
So we were
on the filmmaking side.
On the filmmaking side, we both of us were working.
So the brief will come to you from the agency and you guys execute it, basically.
Right. So first,
like initially we were working for somebody like AD's assistant director kind of thing. Then we used to do some small projects on our own kinds.
Okay. No, but when you execute these things, there's not really much head work for you. I mean, it's all done, isn't it?
The script comes, but then like even now we do a little bit of advertising work. So advertising is still is something which still fascinates us because you have to say your story in a certain time and all that. No, that's a challenge. But the point is, you need a good script. The script comes from the client via the agency.
Is this the whole thing about directors always coming with their own stories? Is that a very Indian phenomenon, or is that happens all over the world?
I guess it is.
I guess mostly in India that we have this idea of like writer-director, and more so in Tamil. I mean, even if you take Malayalam cinema or Hindi,
there could be even influences.
Telugu. Actually, you have writers separately.
Telugu has a whole bunch of writers. Like you like the cinema, you don't like the cinema is a different thing. But there are very clearly
professional
writers,
and
directors, and the writers get paid really well.
Because I was talking to this gentleman Prakash Verma, I think the ad filmmaker from Bangalore, and I remember asking VKP is somebody used to work with him, another Verma. Anyway, I can't remember his full name. I asked him about one of the big production houses in Bombay who was interested in the movie. and I had suggested his name. So they said, okay, go get him. You know. So I called him up and I said, listen, no, Eros ready to put some serious money down. He said, where's the story? So that blew me, because I've always thought these guys had their own stories. But he said, I'm a professional director. I have no stories. Don't come to me with and ask me, get me a story. You got a story, I shall do it for you. That's the way he was.
Malayalam cinema actually works a lot like that. I mean,
See, they used to work with M.T. Vasudevan Nayar's script. I mean, it started off from that time.
yeah, Vasudevan Nair is a big name.
He's a big writer, basically. He
And
was a
now-
novelist. You know.
You have like a bunch of writers who get paid, if not as much as the director, but
Close.
good sum. Yeah, good sum.
So you heard it from them. They are writer director, I think, because both the movies they did were their own stories. But I think that's what works in Tamil Nadu. It could be whatever it wants in the world, but this is the way it is here. So if the director walks off the screen, you're dead. You're mutton, because he's walked away with the idea, the script, everything is gone. So when we come back in the last bit, we'll see how they made the actual transition to being an actual producer of a movie.